There is an important point that's related to this idea of frequency that I want to highlight, and that is that a lot of business to business marketers make assumptions about the ad recall, brand recall, and just overall recall of content that prospects have consumed. And nowhere is this more important, arguably, than with LinkedIn. So, for example, when you are running Google ads, you're generally targeting people that are actively looking for solutions. So they're in that mindset. They're searching purposely. So they're more likely to remember what they did with Google ads. Now, a lot of the times that's not the case. Okay, I've had to help companies where people would request demos from Google searches, and then they forgot that they did because they requested it from multiple companies, so they don't remember your brand, they don't remember doing the request. But generally, they're more likely to remember an action that they took and to recall things when they did with Google ads and with LinkedIn. Because with LinkedIn, what you're doing is more outbound marketing. So people are just on LinkedIn doing whatever they're doing, searching for jobs, posting stuff, reading things, and then you're kind of interrupting them with this advertisement. It's like, hey, we have this cool product, why don't you sign up for free trial? And then they sign up for free trial because there's an easy lead gen form, and then they forget about it. So what we find is that the lead gen forms on LinkedIn, and same thing on Facebook, vastly improve the conversion rates. So more people convert. But the people that convert, there's also a high probability those people aren't going to remember doing it. They're not going to remember your brand name. So there are a few things you need to consider. The first thing is you need to prepare the sales team and the automated emails to nurture people after they respond. Okay? So, for example, after they request a demo or sales conversation through a LinkedIn ad, you need to have you should have the follow-up message, with LinkedIn Forms allows you to do, to send them to a blog post that educates them more, or sends them to a Calendly link to actually schedule. And then when they schedule, you should have automated emails that keep reminding them, here are the benefits of showing up to the demo. Here's what you're going to get. By the way, here's a 3-minute video testimonial from one of our customers and how successful they were. So there's that ongoing marketing. There's also the retargeting. So retargeting people. And you can do this on LinkedIn with retargeting groups of people that requested a sales conversation, a demo, whatever it is that you're promoting, a quote request, etc. Okay, so there's that ongoing nurturing that's important because people are not going to remember a lot. The other important thing is that in general, it just takes a lot of repetition for people to remember things. I remember when I was living in Indonesia, there was a language barrier, but there was also a cultural barrier in communication where people would, and this happens even between people that speak Indonesian to each other, is that you'll say what you want when you make an order, but they just don't really, it doesn't sink in what you've said. The conscientious expectation is not very high. So you often people will get what they don't ask for in Indonesia. So what I noticed in their culture was there's lots of repetition. There's constant confirmations that are required in applications, for example. When you order their equivalent of Uber, you always have to confirm the pickup point. You always have to confirm that you're actually receiving the ride. Tons of confirmations, tons of repetition. And that's something that you may need to do with LinkedIn. And what that may mean is that the ideal frequency is not 1. It may be 7. It may be 10. It may be 5. You need to not make assumptions that because somebody watched 25% of your video, they actually recall any of it. Or because they clicked your ad that they remember your brand name. They're not going to remember your brand name, probably. What they're going to remember is whatever valuable piece of information you provided about the problem that you talked about. So when we're doing awareness marketing on LinkedIn, often the focus is not, do they remember our name? Do they recall our name? It's, are they more educated because of the ad that we ran? And what's the level of frequency repetition, variety of media that we need to use to hit people to get them to the point where they do actually recall the information, where it's actually sinking into their mind. And this is where advanced marketing becomes much more about psychology, persuasion, nurturing. An amateur business-to-business marketer is just fixated on one thing, and that is direct responses. Did the person respond or not? That's not what an advanced LinkedIn advertiser will do. An advanced LinkedIn advertiser is thinking, how do I persuade somebody to go from here to here? To go from, I have a vague idea of what my problem is or what I need, to, oh, I'm actually kind of interested in buying this product. I think I'm going to talk to a salesperson. And that's psychology, that's repetition, that's persuasion, that's getting the right frequency, that's getting the right mix of advertisements. And that's ultimately how you're going to change the mindset of the people. The mindset that you are the solution to their problem, that your product category is the solution to their problem, that talking to sales is the solution to their problem. And that's going to require repetition, because people are obsessed with themselves. Business-to-business marketers are obsessed with their own company. So you're thinking about your product every day. You're thinking about your ads every day. You're thinking about your blog posts. But when somebody actually clicks through to your blog post, whether it's through a LinkedIn ad or through an email, whatever, they may not even remember the title, let alone anything else that's in that article. You might need to deliver that message through a blog post. You might need to deliver it through a video. You might need to deliver it through a video 3 times before it sinks in. And there's no science to this. It's a mix of psychology, creativity, and science to kind of figure out what's the degree of repetition that's needed to persuade somebody to take action. And that's going to require qualitative research, quantitative research, and lots of LinkedIn testing.